Welcome, college basketball fans, to the Full Court Press Podcast with LT and Sammy D. This is the podcast that brings you legendary stories from college basketball's golden era and dives in deep with a current analysis of today's game. Get ready for the most energetic and entertaining college basketball podcast around. Let's get it.
All right, we got a special. We went one-on-one with Flynn Clayman at the Final Four. We're going one-on-one. LT here, Full Court Network with my guy, formerly of the Akron Zips, now, I guess, the newer head coach of the College of Charleston, the Cougars, John Groce. What's going on, man?
LT, first of all, welcome to Charleston.
Oh, I love Charleston.
Obviously great city.
Yeah.
Great place.
Absolutely.
I always recite, obviously, we talk about it in recruiting a lot, how, Travel and Leisure magazine has rated it 9 of the last 10 years the best place to live in America.
Yeah.
It's a special place in that regard, obviously. The college, from an academic perspective, so strong, regionally and nationally ranked in, several programs. And then you've got the basketball program, which is the 5th highest winning percentage program in the history of college basketball behind the 4 Blue Bloods, Duke, Carolina, and then Kansas and Kentucky. 55 straight sellouts here. There's a high care factor for it. We're really, really blessed and still have a long way to go. Obviously had a great foundation here with what the coaches had built previously. I have great respect for Coach Mack and Coach Kelsey here recently, and Coach Grant, as I've gotten to know him. Obviously, Coach Cremens was here as well. And certainly you can't think of the College of Charleston ever without thinking of John Kress.
Right.
And what he did here. He's a legendary. So it's, kind of got its own cradle of coaches a little bit. I know they use that moniker at Miami. But yeah, it's, it's a special place. We got a lot of work to do. We got 11 new guys, just trying to figure it out on the daily. Yeah.
Why now? I mean, you were really doing well at Akron. You had it. I mean, it was pretty much just rolling. I mean, you were rolling. I know it was tougher and tougher because the league was getting stronger, and especially this year coming up, they're putting more money in NIL, more in facilities, new coaches, as you know, in the MAC. Why now? Because, I mean, there were other opportunities that probably have come your way. I mean, you've done a really good job.
And we were talking about, you and I were talking about this off the air. Change is challenging, but can also be good. So
absolutely.
I have great respect for that place, and in particular the people that we met there over a 9-year period. Just the relationships that we built. Just some great people. Whether that was through the community, through the university, the athletic department, our program. Certainly starting with our players. This opportunity and all the things we accomplished at Akron as well wouldn't have happened without those individuals. Those guys got a special group of guys that we had a chance to coach there over the 9 years. Very thankful and grateful for that opportunity and for them. Love them to death. I always tell them once you're in, you're in. They'll always be family to me and our family, and we just appreciate them a great deal. Still talk to a lot of them. A lot of them reach out, and it's fun to have obviously that bond with those guys. I always say when you win a championship or championships, that's something that really bonds a group for a lifetime. So got a lot of great relationships there.
Do you miss the Starbucks? How are the Starbucks compared to
Starbucks are good here, and there's a lot of gourmet coffee places here as well.
There's a lot. There's a lot of Starbucks. I actually checked. I think there's like twice or 3 times as many in Akron. It's obviously a bigger place in the city.
You
but
did the analysis.
I did. I had to.
Luke, I like
That's why
what's
you came
what's
here.
crazy is
Starbucks.
and you and I were talking about this off the air.
Oh, absolutely.
A little bit as well. But I can leave my office and walk within a few minutes and be at a couple different gourmet coffee shops that people have really urged me. And unless it's a breakfast, lunch, or maybe specifically breakfast or lunch meeting with someone that suggests that or requires me to meet there, and I will, then I typically won't cheat on Starbucks. And it's right around the corner as well. And
we were talking about,
Yeah, I've gotten to know those baristas over there also. Yeah.
It really is. Your mom must be happy about you not playing your brother anymore. I mean, I know we've talked about this, and I have talked to your brother about this. It's kind of stressful. I mean, you're always pulling for him, except for when you're playing, and it just seemed like, you know, the way you've built your program, the way he was building his program, built his program. It was kind of nice. You only played once regular season last year. Let's be honest. I know you wanted him again now.
On my mother, right?
I know.
No, you're right. It is challenging. I think he told you that, and I would agree with him on that. You know, it is, because typically, you know, you're rooting for him. We had some great battles, and fortunately, I guess you'd say it was a blessing that in some of those cases we were both really playing for something meaningful, which is a blessing. But I'm really proud of, you know, what he's built there, where he started when he got there, and where they're at now. You know, and I know he'd be the first to tell you it's not just him. You know, he's had staff that have been a part of that, support staff, players, great players. But, you know, obviously he's the kind of the leader of that whole deal, and just really proud of, you know, what they built there and the consistency of what they played with, or how they played in particular in the last couple years.
Yeah, and you took his assistant coach with you too.
Yeah, I did. You know,
the secret weapon.
Yeah, and John's really good, and obviously this shows you kind of, you know, Trav's disposition, but I think, you know, this has been a great move for John and his family. Yep. And you know, give Travis credit. I think I know, you know, he cares about John absolutely deeply, and his family, and I think it's been a good transition for him. And I think, you know, Trav was looking at it through that lens, which is unique, because a lot of people wouldn't look at it that way. Yeah,
yeah. And I like your staff. You've got a lot of history with your staff. Yeah. Whether, you know, Rob came back. I mean, he was at Akron, went to Marshall, now he's at Charleston with you. You have a lot of history. I mean, is that really important to get familiar faces, especially now with the kind of the landscape of college basketball? You got to hit the ground running.
Yeah. We've been so blessed, Luke. Like, you're right. We have basically had to hire 10 staff/support staff spots when we got here. And Evan Wilson, who's our video coordinator,
played for you.
Played for us at Akron. Rob Fulford was the associate head coach at Marshall, but had been with us for 7 years prior. You know, Robbie Pridgeon and Mike Allen had been with us as well.
And Mike Allen played for you.
And Mike played for us at Ohio. Was the first ever point guard that I coached back in 2008-09 as a head coach. And then Austin Davis, our strength coach, had been with us. And certainly that balance of that familiarity was really good foundationally to get this thing started. But I'm super thrilled as well about who we were able to add. I think we've added a lot of, you know, value to the staff, and most importantly, guys that are going to pour into our players. But the experience level, not only of the guys I just mentioned that had a background with us, they've been doing it a lot of years. This is the most experienced staff I've ever had, at whether you're talking Ohio, Illinois, Akron, or Charleston. We added Aaron Fern, who I got to know through some European international recruiting, and had been the head coach at Charlotte, had been the head coach of the Cairns Taipans in the NBL, which is a great league. And Aaron is just really smart, very committed, just very gifted and talented, very blessed to have him with his experience level.
Did you have a connection with him?
You know, I traveled with him when we recruited in Europe a year ago, and then he's really close with one of my best friends, is guy Ryan Pannone, and Ryan knows him really well and thinks the world of him, and that kind of triggered or started that relationship where we had a chance to spend some time together. Aaron's been terrific. And then you mentioned John had been with my brother as the associate head coach at Miami last year, and John has 14 years of experience in the CAA. Between William and Mary and Eli.
Huge.
Great familiarity with the league, the area, in particular the Carolinas, but even otherwise. You know, John's accomplished in other areas, certainly as well. You know, then we were able to hire Colin Terry for player development, and Colin's had background with the NBA and the G League, and a lot of the guys with the pre-draft stuff this year, he was able to work out, you know, more than a handful of them, and a lot of those guys got drafted. And Colin does a great job with player development. Came highly recommended by multiple people, and he's been terrific. And then 2 GAs that had worked with Coach Fern at Charlotte. I got to know Mac Barfield through the Larry Shyatt clinic last year, being around Coach Fern. The clinic was put on at Charlotte. And was just super impressed with Mac, and then got to know Coach Fern's son, Tyler, who's also very gifted as well. And so we were able to add those two guys as GAs. And so the experience level, I think, is really unique and really special. A lot of these guys have been doing it for a long time, and it's been very healthy, certainly, and helpful for me in the transition.
How was it when you, did you have to recruit your son to come with you, or did he just did you bring the whole family? Because I know you have younger kids, and what have you. And he's your oldest, right?
He is.
So, how does that go? He could have stayed. You were friends with Dustin Ford. You've known him for years. He's going to do great at Akron. He could have stayed at Akron. But what's that conversation, kind of that father-son dialogue?
I kind of gave him some space, Luke, and let him make the decision. And obviously he could have went, a couple different routes, obviously, whether that's, like you said, maybe staying to finish his degree. He had 1 year left. It could have been, maybe transferring and playing at some of the schools, especially the ones that had recruited him previously. Or it was come here to Charleston, and this is what he wanted to do. I did not have to twist his arm, or bend his ear. And he's gotten a lot better, has really worked very, very hard. And as I said last year, I'm appreciative of the time that I get to spend with him, whether it's on court or off the court as a part of our team. And I really value that. When I look back, obviously, I wish I had more time with my father, who passed in 2024 from cancer. And I look back and wish I had more time with him. So the timing of Connor, being a part of our team, previously at Akron and now here, has made me value that, even more, just to be able to spend quality time with him.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Who would you say has the nicest hair or the best looking between you, Coach Kelsey, and Coach Mack? Because you kind of all go to the same barber.
Yeah, we really do.
And you know these guys. You have history with. Travis has coached with them. You've worked with them.
Yeah, I know. Obviously know both guys. Both guys did a tremendous job here. Both very, very good coaches, good people. I have a lot of respect for both Chris and for PK. So, that's there certainly will always be a part of the tradition here at the College of Charleston.
Much discussions with them about this position.
I want to have even more. Some, I've reached out to several of the coaches that have coached here previously.
Oh, wow. Okay,
and I always like to ask them, Luke, it's interesting, I always like to ask 3 questions. One is, give me the 3 best things about the job. Give me the 3 most challenging things about the job. And lastly, give me the 3 things that you wish you would have known before you took it or right as you took it, that you had to find out on your own, that you're like, man, but if I'd have known that, what are those 3 things? Yeah. And I've always enjoyed that. I learned so much. I still need to complete a couple of those rounds with a couple more coaches, but I found that to be very helpful.
Yeah. What can people expect? I know what people are going to see down here, and they're going to see. I'll just tell you quickly, and you can obviously. You're going to see high energy. You're going to see passion on the sidelines from you. You're going to see a great positive intensity. Guys are going to be playing for each other. They're going to be diving for balls. They're going to be getting after it. Your coaching staff, it's going to be electric, and it's been electric in here before.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, Luke. I think it takes time to build some of those things you just talked about, and we're started that process here this summer. It's been a unique summer, maybe one of the more unique ones from the standpoint of, number one, we have 11 new players. So it's the first time I've ever coached a team with 11 brand new guys. So that's one. 2, we had a decent amount of injuries with guys before their arrival here.
Oh, gosh.
So they haven't been able to participate full go.
Right.
Every once in a while you have a summer where maybe you have a couple guys or whatever. But we've had a little bit more than that, so it's made it really difficult to get a beat on our team and what we're capable of. So that's another factor. But I like our group. I think we've gotten really good dudes. We've gotten a lot of guys that obviously love ball. They're in here constantly. They want to work. They want to be really good. So that part's the work ethic part is obviously always a foundational element of what we're trying to build. That, hey, that's the expectation here in terms of what we do. But Yeah, we got a long way to go, and really until we get everybody out there and we know what our full roster looks like playing, well, I have more kind of an indication of what we might be capable of this year. But I'm hopeful that obviously we've tried to put it together where every year you're here, it's no different than the place I just left, and we never dodged it. We always felt like, hey, every year we understand the expectation is to compete for a championship or championships. It is what it is.
Yep.
If you don't like that, then don't come to Charleston.
Yeah.
Or don't be at Akron. So
Yep.
I think that's a similar framework here for sure, and one that certainly excites us.
Yeah. And a big word I've noticed over, especially with the kind of the way college basketball's gone in the landscape, is retention.
Yeah.
Like you've had, and that's the thing, what I've noticed having young boys and following the Zips and stuff like that, the Mahaffey brothers, XYZ, Nate Johnson for years.
Yeah.
Do you think it will be much of the same? I mean, you're obviously going to try that at Charleston.
We'll try that.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think the environment and the space continues to change. I think, obviously you've probably read social media or
I try not to.
different articles that talk about
right.
The inflation rate, so to speak, on on NIL from year to year and how it's progressively inflated at astronomical percentages.
It's crazy
when you think about it, starting at around, let's say 21, 22-ish, and then now it's been around for roughly 4 to 5 years, whatever you want to call that. It's continued to elevate.
How is that sustainable, though?
And I don't know that it is. We'll see.
Yep.
I've said this before. Like I've just kind of learned to control what you can control.
Yep.
I can't control that it inflates at X. I can't control that, whatever. Try to do the best job you can to be a problem solver and be willing to improvise, adapt as best you can when we've tried to do that. But I think, your original question, like, do I think retention's important to sustainability and consistency? There's no question. And, in the environment today, you're going to keep everybody. We didn't, obviously you mentioned Nate, who had a great run for us, means a lot to me and to us. But not, you may not. But I do think you have to, in order to sustain and be consistent, you've got to be able to keep at least some. I do think retention certainly is still a part of that formula.
Yeah. Culture. There still is culture. Like culture, it might be, you have to kind of sustain or get it, grow it, or build it quicker. But culture is still prevalent in the coaching landscape, right? College landscape.
I think so. No question about it. And it's obviously a buzzword, right? I talk about it, but and I think our job's to try to create it and then protect it and make sure you can't just let anybody in. Because your culture may not be, it's not going to be a fit for everybody.
Yep, absolutely.
And so try to adhere to that as best you can. Sometimes it's tempting because, a guy may be super talented. If I'd said to you, hey, Luke, would you want talent on your team or no talent? You're going to say, I want talent,
right.
And that's a part of it. But I think the other, traits that we look for from, can you get over yourself? Is it, about others, not just yourself? Do you care about winning? What are your habits like, both on and off the court? What character traits do you possess, both on and off the court? I think those things are really important.
Yeah. So last question, what's going to be your walkout song? First game. Is it going to be Michael Jackson?
I don't know.
I know you're aficionado. I know. We've had this conversation before.
What's crazy is I've seen the movie twice.
Have you?
Already. And my son, Camden, has seen it 3 times. He loves them as much as I do. I would see it again. I mean, it was that captivating. I thought Jafar Jackson's performance as Michael in the movie was unbelievable. There were times where, I'd catch myself and be like, you'd think it's Michael as you're watching it. Great movie. But there's no question. I listen to Michael Jackson frequently. We all have regrets, right? We all do. One of my regrets is I never got to see him in concert.
Yeah.
I would have loved it. Now, I saw Janet in concert in probably, I guess it would have been the 90s. I was at North Carolina State at the time. Would have been like late 90s. I saw her in concert, went and saw her there in Raleigh, and she was unbelievable. but I never got to see see Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I wish I would.
Did you have the white glove?
I did not have the white glove.
Yeah.
We were talking the other day, though. You remember, Luke, and I'm not trying to label you as anywhere near my age.
How old are you?
In my 50s.
I'm in my 50s too.
Okay.
So I just entered the door
You
right.
remember parachute pants in middle school and all that? Like I had like
MC Hammer
Robbie
parachute pants?
Pridgeon and I were talking about it, and he had. So I had like every color, and I would wear these to like.
Not the Zubas. Not the Zubas.
I don't even remember.
Remember
what
the
brand.
Zubas? You remember the Bengal
The ones that zip.
Yeah, but they had like they're like the leopard print, like the Zubas. That they had.
I don't remember that.
Okay.
So you.
All right, well, it's okay.
But
So you
anyway,
had the parachute
I had
pants.
like
Yep.
every color, and I was so proud of those parachute pants.
You should bring them out.
Back in the day. I think it was more middle school age when I was wearing them, but I still remember to this day wearing them.
Did Travis have them?
I don't think so. You'd have to ask him. I don't recall. I don't recall that. He was the youngest, right, of the 5 of us, and so I think he may have escaped the parachute pants fad.
People don't realize you have other siblings. Everybody thinks it's just you and Travis. It's like the Hurley family.
Yeah.
You think there's just Bobby and Danny, and there's a sister.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
It's pretty crazy.
I've got great siblings. Brother David, brother Brandon, sister Kim. All very successful, great people. Very proud of them as well.
Yeah.
I wish I could see them more. That's the one thing is you get older, you realize you have things going on professionally. You got things going on with your immediate family.
Yep.
So I don't get to see them as much as I would.
I get it.
As much as I would like. My sister lives in Florida, and just
Getting a little closer.
moved here somewhat recently, so she's a little closer. So hopefully we can make that work a little bit more than we have previously.
It's an easy flight. Charleston Airport's great. I mean, my in-laws flew down here, and so one of my brother-in-laws and sister-in-laws and stuff like that. It's an easy flight. It's an easy drive too.
Yeah, it is, and I think she's within driving distance. Sometimes I forget, like we had our league meetings in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And that's whatever it was, 3.5 hours or whatever. Like wow,
crazy.
Driving to Florida. You typically think that as a Midwesterner.
Yeah.
But closer to Georgia, obviously Atlanta's close.
Yep.
Anything in the Carolinas is close.
Yep.
The northern, especially northeastern point of Florida, closer. So
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be nice because you look at the concentration of how many Division I schools are around Akron. It's 3 hours away you can get to, and it's the same here.
Yeah.
Like you can get here, you can get there, and you can fly. So hopefully scheduling will be a little bit easier. But
they've had a lot of success with the schedule because people like to come to Charleston. Obviously, we have a beautiful arena. It's a great city.
Yep.
But what'll be interesting is completely different than the MAC, which had the close proximity for the most part between the institutions. Here you've got teams, let's say in Long Island or Philadelphia,
Baltimore,
or Boston,
yeah.
or
Yeah.
Baltimore, that are a little different in terms of how you travel. And then the schedule, Luke, is Thursday, Saturday, which is like the old Pac-12 schedule when they used to have partners and all that. So that'll be unique for me to go through the first time. Fortunately, John, as I mentioned, Holmes has done it before. Aaron Fern did it before as well when Charlotte was a member of Conference USA prior to going to the American.
Yep.
So I'm going to rely on their experience with that as we tackle that aspect.
Yeah. Well, you'll be all right.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We really appreciate it. Coach Groce, check out the Charleston Cougars. It's going to be year one right off the tip. It's going to be fun. It's going to be electric. It's going to be exciting. We're fans, so now we don't have to, cheer for one brother or the other. Actually, when you and your brother play, I cheer for the one that's going to help the most. You know what I mean? And I was really hopeful there'd be 2 bids in the MAC because it's it's just it's basketball. It's Cinderella stories. It's purists. It's all that stuff.
No, it's pretty special, obviously, to have a chance to be in the same tournament together. As you know, of course, now there's going to be 76 teams, right?
Yeah.
Used to be at that time 68 last year. There's we're only 2 of 68 out of 360 plus. So what a blessing.
Coach Martin appreciates the fruit basket he sent him after they beat the brothers team. I love Frank.
Frank's a good guy. He does a great job.
Yeah. But thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week. Hopefully Sam will be joining me on the Full Court Network and Full Court Press College Basketball Show.